Aaron Rodgers. He made his first comments after the Achilles injuries yesterday on Instagram. He said, "Thank you to every person that's reached out, called, texted, DM'd, connected through a friend, etc. It has meant a ton to me, and I'll try to get back to all of you soon. Coming back and cutting down to the end. The night is darkest before the dawn, and I shall rise yet again." Proud of my guys. 1-0. Hashtag Jets. James Jones, that is your former teammate. Not a lot of people on national TV have played with Aaron Rodgers, so I am always honored and privileged to be able to have these conversations with you, and viewers, you should be as well. Nobody more qualified to have this discussion. So, James, what are your expectations for Rodgers when he returns?
I mean, my expectations don't change, man. I expect him to play at a high level, and I'm not necessarily saying that as the Aaron Rodgers we used to seeing where he's getting outside the pocket, making all these crazy throws, but it's been a lot of quarterbacks that gotten up there in age and played well, right? And the reason why they played well is because the mind, right? Aaron Rodgers is one of the sharpest minds we've seen. Another reason why they played well is they still had the arm talent. Ain't nothing happened to his arm, so he still is going to have that. So for me, it just changes. He's going to have to win with his mind and his arm inside the pocket to still be able to play at a high level. And if you ask me if anybody can get that done, Aaron Rodgers can get that done. So I still see him playing at a high level, being able to help a team get to where they're trying to go.
James, what is a fine line between your personal experience and your bias? What's the fine line between there? Your personal experience is leading the National Football League in touchdowns because of Aaron Rodgers 2012 when you had 14. But I could also suggest that your bias is, you know Aaron Rodgers personally, y'all have texted since the injury. So where is a fine line between your experience and your bias?
Yeah, that's my dog. I'm always going to ride with my dog. But to be honest with you, like Shady says, right? You got to use your own two eyes. And for the 10 years I played with Aaron Rodgers and seeing with my own two eyes what he's capable of doing, throwing the football, every time he stepped in the huddle, I felt like we had a chance to win. I felt like the play was going to work, strictly because he was under the center. So none of that changes for me just because I'm not in the huddle with him. I've seen this for year after year after year, the type of talent that Aaron Rodgers has. And like I say, yes, as you get older, you slow down a little bit, but your mind ain't going nowhere. How you see the game ain't going nowhere, and your arm talent ain't going nowhere. So with all that being said, I think we will see him play at a high level when he does rise from the dead. Come on, Joy. Come on, Joy.
Well, you're not asking me what I hope.
Okay.
What I hope is Aaron comes back, has a storybook season, looks great. Not even necessarily win a Super Bowl, but finishes off his illustrious career the way that we all want to see the greats go.
No doubt.
You know, not necessarily on top, but just playing well, contributing to the game so they can have that walk around the stadium at the last game, whatever it is, whether it be the Super Bowl or regular season or playoff, whatever it is. That's what I hope. Genuinely, I do. I don't like to see greats go out like this. Now, see? Everybody's giving up. What I think, what my expectations are, is very low. And that's only because there's a lot of factors in this. It's not just that he was playing at a high level and got this injury and we're like, man, he's been crushing straight year. There's been no dip in the production, no dip in how we look at what he's able to do with a team that he's comfortable with pieces that he's comfortable with, place that he's comfortable with. I'm talking about last year in Green Bay. So we keep theorizing that if Aaron Rodgers was to play how he played his last year in Green Bay with the Jets, that would be good enough to win a Super Bowl. That's all assuming that there's no other team in the league that's going to be playing at a high level that's going to disagree with the path that they're going to take to the Super Bowl. And there are a few of them. So we don't even know if what he did last year in Green Bay was going to be good enough with this Jets team to get them over the hump. Now you're talking about a player who is up there in age, football years-wise, obviously, coming back off of an injury that we all feel is the worst injury. We are projecting all of this in a best-case scenario. Best-case scenario, he comes back off of an Achilles injury in a year, right?
Yep.
That's safe to say,
of course,
factoring in the age, the nature of the injury. So he's back in a year. Not necessarily in football shape in a year, not necessarily rust off in a year, just back available in a year. We're in football season now. We're in week 2 already. So the expectations for me are reasonable, I feel.
Oh, I'm with you, and I think mine are. I have no expectation. I think there should be no expectation. Aaron Rodgers is. If Aaron Rodgers were to come back and the Jets were to go 4-2-5, in my mind, it would be one of those sovereign divine seasons. Think Peyton Manning when he had 9 touchdown passes, 17 interceptions, get benched, but the Broncos still win the Super Bowl. Yeah. He rides off on a white horse into the sunset. Think Ray Lewis, 37 years of age, he gets hurt, has a deer antler spray shot, whatever it might be, in his tricep, comes back, Super Bowl, they end up winning. But Ray Lewis had 57 tackles that season. Mind you, Ray Lewis's career high is 184, so he wasn't even 1/3 of his best. So if Aaron Rodgers were to come back and win with the Jets, it won't be because Aaron Rodgers was phenomenal. It will be because of one of those sovereign, storybook, divine football god type of performances, which I don't see us getting. So Aaron Rodgers is coming back, in my mind, not to necessarily help the Eagles. He's coming back to help himself, which he should, which he owes, and which he's deserved, 2-5.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess the question is, what's the question?
What's your expectations?
I don't have a big one for him. I just think that if he plays next year, it's more of like just the pride. Like, hey, you know, I said I was coming to New York to deliver a championship or try to do that. Young guys he done promised, like Garrett Wilson. Yeah. And I want to be there for them guys. I think he's coming back for that. But I'm not expecting much. You know, at this age, with that injury, that's tough to come back from. And the good thing is he throws the ball very, very well. So it won't affect him too much. He's not scrambling or getting out the pocket. But the team will be better. And I think that they still can win with Aaron Rodgers after the injury because the team will be a lot better. They're young. This is a young group.
For sure.
And they're really good on defense right now. And I think on offense, they have a lot of good pieces. They'll be older next year. They'll be more experienced. I think if you bring Aaron Rodgers, he don't have to be the air out of what we know, right? And I do play a little part of just, he wasn't great last year with the Packers. I think due to the young receivers he had. Yep. Because the year before that, he won an MVP.
Yes, sir. Right? And the year before that, he won another one.
Right. So it's like you can't just turn it off like that. You know, I think he played bad, but I think a lot of that was the younger guys. I think going to the Jets, I think that next year, the guys will be a lot better. And they may make the playoffs. I don't know. But it's a tough injury.
I mean, when you talk about what's going to happen this year, right, we got to expect, well, we don't expect the Jets to go to the Super Bowl now, right? So you possibly might even have your solid pick. You know, depending on how well this season goes, right? I remember when we came off a 6-10 season, and I think it was 6-10, and we had the opportunity to draft B.J. Raji and Clay Matthews in the same draft. Well, and we already had a really good football team, just lost a lot of close games, and we were like, oh, shoot. All right, these 2 picks right here take us over the hump. So with that being said, you might get a nice draft pick. You're going to get Aaron Rodgers back. Like Shady's saying, it's going to be a better football team next year, and we see what they did in week 1 on the defensive side of the ball. So he don't got to come back and be the 4-time MVP. All he has to do is come back, like I said, win with his mind, throw this ball in the pocket. He can't be like Peyton Manning because they're not going to go to the Super Bowl like when Peyton Manning. But I truly believe Aaron Rodgers can still be, if we saying a top 15 quarterback is pretty good. I believe Aaron Rodgers could be a top 15 quarterback off this Achilles injury, strictly off of his talent and his mind. And if he can be a top 15 quarterback on this Jets team, then we got action.
And another thing is, I remember when Tom was with the Bucs, and I was there in 2020, and he was talking about, we had camp, right? And our first 2 practices, it didn't go as well as we wanted to on offense. And I remember coming to the meeting and was like, hey, listen, guys, I don't have to come here and save the day, right? We have so much talent where I can rely on Chris Godwin to make these catches. Antonio Brown, you got Grunt. Leonard Fournette was going off. And then you had Mike Evans. So it's like, yeah, I'm Tom Brady. I'm going to do my thing. Obviously, he's the best. But I don't have to be great because I have so many great guys with me. I don't have to be perfect. And I look at Aaron Rodgers, it's the same thing. Like, man, you don't have to go out there and be 48-5.
No.
You don't need that MVP. No. But just be efficient, right? Smart, and lead the team. And that's winning football.
Joy brought this up yesterday, though. It's like, this all sounds good on paper in a studio. Like, Aaron Rodgers just has to be good. Right. But the dilemma at hand is there is still a Patrick Mahomes, a Lamar Jackson, a Joe Burrow, an ascending Trevor Lawrence, a Josh Allen, a Jalen Hurts, a ascending Brock Purdy, a Dak Prescott. Like, there are still quarterbacks that are young and healthy. Tua, excuse me, apologize, Dolphin fans. There are still quarterbacks that are young and healthy. So, Joy, when you hear that, like, okay, Rodgers doesn't have to be that good, what line do you draw for Aaron Rodgers to take them over the hump? Because I don't think he has to be Aaron Rodgers in his prime, but I don't know that he can be 40 years old off an Achilles Aaron Rodgers.
What was Aaron Rodgers in his prime in the postseason?
Yeah. They take them L's.
I don't know.
They take a lot of L's.
What happened the last
11
time
and 11?
that he won the MVP and they went to the postseason?
Lost.
Lost to the Niners?
Lost to the Bucks at home. At home.
You were there.
And we shut them down.
Yeah,
They was
all right, all
He had
right.
three touchdowns.
Let Joy continue.
I'm just saying.
We got the point.
Thank you for that, because I'm not saying, like, we know Aaron Rodgers is a four-time MVP, one of the greatest to ever do it, first ballot Hall of Famer, and he is a Super Bowl champion, and no one can take that away from him. But as of recent, the postseason success in a place he was very comfortable, had a lot of things go his way, you know, a lot of things lined up for him. They didn't get it done in the postseason.
True.
So when we talk about guys like Tom Brady, and this is why I don't really like introducing Tom Brady into the conversation, because I think Tom Brady skews the algorithm. Tom Brady takes a pristine care of his body. I'm not saying Aaron doesn't, but we know that Brady is an outlier in that particular space. He's also an outlier when it comes to winning. He's an outlier when he comes to performing at a high level late into his football age. He's also an outlier with injuries. Brady really wasn't injured throughout his career, whether it be luck or taking care of his body.
Take care of his body.
You know, football gods, whatever it is, he just wasn't. So there's so much like plug and play that we're doing here on paper that it's like, okay, but that's not how it was going for him before. And now you're with an organization that hasn't been in the space where they've had continued postseason success to put him in, or been in the postseason recently to put him in. This isn't Andy Reid and the Chiefs and Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes stepping in there. It's not the situation. We know what Tom Brady did there, but Tom Brady transferred that winning and that mentality, and he had Hall of Famers around him. Hall of Famers. This is a great Jets team. Yeah. There is a list of Hall of Famers and Hall of Famer caliber talent on that Bucs team that we can talk about. Maybe the Jets will get there, but there's a lot of maybes in this situation for me to have high expectations.
The big similarity, real quick, the big similarities that we do have is that Tom didn't play great in the playoffs when we won.
Defense.
But the defense,
exactly,
they rolled out.
Exactly.
And then when we need Tom to make plays, he did make plays.
No doubt.
But so they got defense in the Jets? I don't know.
We will have to wait to see. We will have to wait to see with Aaron Rodgers.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.